Hi there, welcome to my therapy. We thought with the imminent release of the Mac Pro, it would be interesting for us to share some of the results of our test that we had when working with the new Mac Pro in conjunction with the DaVinci Resolve. So we'd like to show you how powerful this little box is when used for color grading material of cameras like Sony f55, Sony f65, Red Epic, Red Dragon, or using the ARRI RAW. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look what type of Mac are we using here. So as you can see, this is a Mac Pro late 2013. It's a 3.5 gigahertz 6-core Intel Xeon E5 processor with 64 gigs of RAM and a dual AMD FirePro D500 graphic cards with 3 gigs of RAM. So what I would like to show you first of all is how the system performs just by using a normal HD media. So if you have a look in my system settings, I am working in HD 25 frames and outputting also just a standard HD in 25 frames. And a good test to see the performance of a system is to apply nodes with the blur, because blur is one of the most challenging kind of nodes that we can do to the system. So I'm going to now start adding blur nodes. I'm now number 5, 6, 7. So I've added 8 blur nodes. Let's have a look now. It's still playing absolutely fine in real time. Then I'm gonna keep adding more. 9, 10, 11, 12, now 12 nodes, still playing absolutely fine in real time. Then I'm gonna do like a 13, then 14, and I'm gonna add 15, 16, 17 nodes of blur, and it's still playing absolutely fine in real time. Okay, let's keep adding more. 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 nodes of blur. Let's have a look now. Now, as you can see, the system has dropped to around 20 frames. Let's have a look. 19 is about the sweet spot. It's still like dropping down, but I'd say 18 nodes of blur is a sweet spot or a maximum that I was able to get out of the system to play back in real time when using HD material. Absolutely fantastic. So the next thing I'd like to show you is actually how fast is system going to render. Is something that might be interesting to DITs that are planning to use the system on set. So I'm going to go through different type of materials so you can see how fast you're planning to render. So here is for example, QuickTime ProRes 422. I'm going to render to a G-Rate Thunderbolt drive, and that could be an equivalent of rendering Alexa ProRes files. So let's have a look. The speed of rendering. So let's have a look. We are doing it at around 100 frames per second. So we are rendering basically ProRes HD to ProRes HD at around 100 frames per second. Okay, that's a very good speed. Now let's have a look maybe at some other formats. I'm going to now look at the ARRI RAW. ARRI RAW also very popular for HD format, or is it 2.5K ARRI RAW? Let's have a look. The speed of ARRI RAW is around 50 frames per second, so that's also incredible. And the next one I'm gonna have a look at is Dragon. Now Dragon is a 6K, and I'm also going to use this option to force debyer to the highest quality. So we want to render to the highest quality, and what we are getting here when transcoding Dragon in highest quality to HD is around 3 to 4 frames per second, so not very much. So for Dragon, we are definitely going to need one of those new red Rocket X cards in order to be able to render at real time. Now I'm gonna try with Epic. Now Epic is about 5K, similar results. It's again forced to the highest quality, and let's have a look. Yes, I think it's maybe like only a few frames more. around 5, 4, 5, maybe a little bit more, 6 if we're lucky. So again, you know, with the Red Rocket, I think we're going to be able to render in real time. Now the next camera is the F55, so it's a raw files in 4K, and I'm rendering to ProRes HD, and look at the performance of this camera is almost 35 frames per second, much better, and I'm going to explain in a minute why Sony cameras are performing so much better on the Resolve. Now I'm going to look at the F65 similar format, like, you know, also 4K but just less compression, and again we are achieving about 35 frames per second when rendering to HD ProRes. Excellent. So Sony in 4K seems to be working really well. Now I'm going to switch the system now to the Ultra HD, so basically my playback and my display is going to be now in 4K, and I'm going to check now the performance. So first let me just try with a standard like a 4K file, so it's going to be ProRes in 4K. So let's see how many nodes of blur am I able to get. Of course everything's playing in real time, you know, just normally, but let's have a look how many nodes of blur I can get. So 21 node is absolutely fine, 2 nodes of blur, it's still playing back in real time. Then I'm gonna try with 3 nodes, 4, still playing back real time, 5 nodes, full 4K. This is full 4K, 5 nodes, still real time, still not a problem. Okay, now I'm gonna do 6 nodes of full 4K. This is still working fine. 7 nodes of full 25 frames, still playing back in real time. 8 nodes. This is 8 nodes of blur in 4K, and now finally system has kind of dropped the speed to less than real time. So let me go and just delete this one and test again. So yes, so it seems that like a 7 nodes is about the sweet spot for this system in terms of the real-time performance in 4K when it comes to blur. So let's check now performance with the other cameras. So maybe I'll start with the F65. Now you see F65 is playing back absolutely fine in real time, no problem at all. We can now able to do all the grading and everything. One thing that I have to show you why is actually, you know, playing so good is because I'm using full res Resolve debugger, which is a kind of GPU optimized debugger. Now if I was to switch it to Sony debugger, which is not GPU optimized, I'm getting only 16 frames per second. So this is a trick why Sony's cameras are performing much better on this system than Red, for example, when it comes to the 4K resolution. So this is seems to be really good combination, working Sony and the new Mac Pro. So let's have a look now. I'm going to add 5 layers of blur. Okay, this is not quite doing it, you know, it has to do also debugging on the fly. So 4 layers of blur, and if I press play, let's have a look. This is, yeah, almost kind of real time with 4 layers of blur. F55 again, pretty much same, you know, as F65. We are to expect pretty much the same performance. It's all playing back in real time. Again, I'm gonna add now how many nodes of blur, let's say 4, bang, 25, still playing back real time, no problem at all. Let's say try 5 nodes, 5 nodes, still back playing with real time, because it has a little bit less compression. You see this camera's got a little bit better performance. And then 6, still absolutely fine in real time. This is amazing actually. And then let's try 7 nodes, and that's kind of where it dropped. And the next camera I'm going to try with Epic, first in a kind of full res premium, and again I don't think we're going to get much speed in real time, 4 frames, like, so not a lot. Half res premium, can I get anything a little bit more? Yeah, just a few frames, like a 6, 7 frames a second. Half res good, maybe goes up to 10, 11, 12 frames. Yeah, again, not a huge improvement. But with quarter res, I'm getting full real-time playback. Now let's see how many nodes of blur can I add to this playback. 1, still playing back real time. Let's do 2, so still playing back in real time. 3, still playing back in real time. 4, still playing back in real time. Yeah, excellent. Now 5 notes of blur, still real time. Amazing. And then let's try one more. 7 and still real time. Okay, let's do one more. I think this is about 8 notes of blur, and this is roughly where my real-time performance drops. Okay, Dragon. Dragon is again full-res premium 6K files. We're gonna hardly get any real-time performance when we start doing that. So let's have a look at the half-res as an option. Yeah, about whatever, maybe 3-4 frames a second, a little bit more, 7, yeah, not much more. Half-res good. Yeah, just a few frames more. Not really huge improvement. But let's try the quarter-res, and quarter-res is playing back in real time. So as the summary is, we can tell that the Mac Pro is going to be, just in the standard edition, the system that we've been testing, an absolutely fantastic machine for any HD grading with almost unlimited amount of nodes. With the amount of blur nodes that we managed to get out of it, there's no way we will in normal situation ever run out of nodes when grading HD. For 4K, it's going to work great as long as we're shooting Sony, but for Red, we are going to have to use a Red Rocket X in order to be able to get full real-time performance in 4K. So thank you very much for watching, and if you would like to find out more details about exact hardware and specification of this DaVinci grading system, please get in touch with Jigsaw24, which is our preferred supplier for all things Resolve.